Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
By the way, Janta, don't forget to check out Keeping It Queer with Naveen. Naveen's my producer and he has his own show called Keeping It Queer. It's all about the LGBT experience. I, of course, have trouble with anything which doesn't have a vowel in it, but I'll try and say it. Legitimate. The LGBT experience, inspirational and funny. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
We're going to meet on Cyrus Says Amit Verma, writer extraordinaire. He writes in French, he speaks in Bengali, and he gets paid in English. A strange combination. We'll meet him on Cyrus Says.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Yeah, here on Cyrus Says, another urinal moment, which is when someone recognizes you, wants to have a conversation at the urinal. Do you shake hands or not? See, this is a big thing for me because I don't think Indians think this through enough. Firstly, we don't give ourselves enough space at the urinal. Secondly, we want to have the social interaction at the one point where we shouldn't have any interaction at all. I beg you, if you meet at the urinal, wait till we go outside so we don't even know or want to check who's cleaner. Just wait till the door is shut and then it doesn't really matter. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Ever since the show began, I wanted to meet people who've been part of my life growing up, or people I've sort of, like my mother and father and whoever else was my parent. But very interesting, I worked for this channel called MTV, which used to show you ads with music in between. And there was a young writer there. I think he was the first and only writer there in my experience, called Amit Verma. He was a skinny little Punjabi boy with a very cynical and funny attitude to life. And now today he's back here having just delivered twins. He's huge in every way. Amit Verma, welcome to our show, which is called Cyrus Says for reasons beyond my control. And I want to just introduce you as a writer based in Mumbai, because that's the first line on your resume. Tell us what's been going on.
So it's been 18 years since we last met.
I want every single month, cover everything. Circa, 99?
Circa 99.
Jesus.
No, the amazing thing is, look, as I've doubled in size, but you are still the same, which makes me wonder.
Which means I've gone nowhere.
Yeah,
I'm like waiting for Godot.
Are you just a humor bot? Have you been,
Yes, I'm a humor. This present government has taken over. We've had to sign MOUs. We did what we had to do to survive. You go to Nepal and, do your cynical thing and no one can touch you.
Yeah, so we're meeting after 18 years and in 99 I decided that, okay, Cyrus is in television, so I got to get out.
Fair enough.
And...
But the problem, we're not just writing. You have to write for people like Maria and Shanaz and all. I want to get into all that. What the hell were you doing there?
They were great to write for. You were hard to write for because you would just go off on your own thing.
That's true. Yeah, I can't even remember now what we did on MTV.
You didn't really need to be written
Thank
for.
God. Yeah. But write for what? What would you write? Would you present a song or point at someone? There was nothing to do. But
No. And the interesting thing is when I joined, MTV was all English. And after a few months of my joining, there was this decision to make it Hindi. So I was told, hey,
then the famous English.
Put these cool words in between and all of that. So,
Didn't they have a 70-30 or 60-40 ratio they used to tell us also?
It kept changing all the time. It kept changing all the time. And it was very arbitrary. It doesn't matter what you mean. You just have to put English words in there. So
let's retrace. How did you land up at MTV in 1996-7, whenever it was?
I started off in Channel V. And
The enemy. You were a Pakistani first. And then you crossed the border.
Those were the exciting days. I mean, Channel V, those were the days of Quick Gun, Murugan.
This is what the Salman Khan film is based on. Yeah.
I've actually been to Pakistan, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. So I was a cricket journalist much later. So I covered the 2006 India's tour to Pakistan. I was there for 3 months. So now whenever these Modi bhakts tell me that, "Arey, go to Pakistan," I'm like, dude, been there, done that.
And lovely food. And by the way, the most charming people in terms of hospitality.
No, absolutely. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And I think if you can speak a little Punjabi, it would have been even more popular.
I can't actually speak Punjabi despite the name. I mean, my mother tongue is sort of Bengali. My mom was Bong.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing, Pakistanis, the common Pakistani is far more friendly to an Indian visitor than you'd expect an Indian to be over here. Which is very sad, the kind of hysteria we've built up.
But one day when Amit becomes Prime Minister, all this will change. But for now, we can't do much about border politics.
I think Modi ji is Prime Minister for life. So
at least for our life.
Yeah, I know.
However short that may be.
Yeah, and if he's listening to this, not very long.
He's never listening to this. There's no way on earth.
Oh, come.
He's got his own radio channel, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. For all you know, he listens. I mean, your show
You
could be
think?
his favorite
For inspiration?
show. It could
Yeah.
happen.
So I
He
want to hear
would
the
be
Brocha show.
Yeah. You must have joked about like burning all the notes in some show or the
Yeah,
others,
yeah.
and he would have gone and told Arun
like-
Jaitley, Cyrus says demonetization.
Change it. Go back to the old way. Black for everyone.
It's too late,
Once
bro.
you go black, you can't go back. I've been saying that.
That's so racist and beautiful.
Right. Amit, let's get back to your early days again because I'm trying to remember. Of course, I remember you vividly, but I want to know how you landed up. We must never have had the conversation, either of us, as to why you're here.
Yeah.
As disappointed as you must have been.
I got to admit, I was a writer, so I was quite intimidated by all the VJs. So we never had those kind of personal heart-to-heart talks and stuff. But how I essentially got
Although I
in
don't think I was
was-
an intimidating person. I always worked at MTV with the very simple, noble
That's
pursuit
true.
of finishing and running away as fast as possible. I was hoping to set very low standards, but I don't know what happened afterwards.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
run Vijayas and all, they're mad.
And they're
Double
after my time, which tells you how long it's been.
There you go.
There I go.
Yeah, I had to Google. I have no idea. I'm struggling with Modi ji. Who's the guy?
Yeah.
All past our time. Sorry. So you got in how?
I was in advertising for a year. Like when I graduated, I decided I wanted to be a writer, and I had really no clue of what to do for a living. So I thought, chalo, copywriting karte hain, and I joined HTA Delhi. And Channel V had just started. Quick Gun Murugan was happening. It seemed really exciting.
That was you? Who wrote Quick Gun
I
Murugan?
didn't. It was written by Rajesh Devraj, and Shashank Ghosh directed
Himself,
it. Yeah. And Shashank was from HTA Delhi as well. So there was that connection.
Let's talk about that for a second. Quick Gun Murugan was hilarious.
It was
but the movie
amazing.
didn't work. So it was hilarious as a concept and small vignettes, but didn't work as a movie.
I think that's a mistake. Sometimes people make that something that works in 90 seconds to stretch it into an entirely
Sex.
different narrative.
Sex. Same thing.
Oh my god, imagine sex for 3 hours. It would
90
be
seconds.
torture.
Amit, you
torture.
90 seconds? You're young, huh?
I'm somewhere between.
And you don't know Ranvijay. You're young. You're a youngster.
Dude, I'm telling you something. I'm a middle-aged Bengali man. 90 seconds is a lot for me.
But
Okay,
90 seconds,
it's
I'm like
amazing.
it's almost like a
Yeah.
full football match, except you change the the unit.
I'd need pharmaceutical help to get to 90.
I need pharmaceutical help to get closer to number one. Forget 90. Okay, back to MTV. So you were working in advertising. You were doing this stuff at Channel V. What was your role exactly?
In Channel V?
Yeah.
So I came on as a writer, and it was a sort of a loose, open
What did you
role.
write? What did
So,
Amit Verma write?
you know, all kinds of nonsense, but
Were you writing for the VJs? Were you writing for the channel?
No.
the promos that they were
I was doing shows. I was writing for the VJs and stuff, and I had, I was in MTV. I was a random supervising producer on
No, but
this
in
and
Channel V,
that.
did they
and-
tell you what to write, or you just wrote and said, "I like this"?
No,
Right?
you had existing shows. You had to,
Oh, so you had to
write.
write for the show. So that's a bit boring. Sometimes.
You could also conceive of shows. For example, the name Bakra is my name. I gave
think?
the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think, I gave the name.
Well, I don't know if that's 100% true. I'll have to
No,
research
that's
that, huh?
absolutely true. Everyone takes credit for it now, but I named the show. But the show, of course, isn't original. I mean, it's basically Candid Camera.
I agree.
But yeah, the name
It
was
is
mine.
original in the sense that when we were actually doing it outside CMM, I don't know if you remember this small studio in Worli called CMM.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't let you smoke. Some of the boys like to smoke, and we were waiting for, I think, Bobby Deol, one of these actors to come who hadn't turned up. So we went down while they had a smoke. And then in those days, the camera attendants wouldn't leave the stuff. So they took a camera with them and went down and stood. Because they were very scared of their bosses. The Homi Wadia, if you remember. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I was just effing around with the taxi drivers and showing these guys, all non-Mumbaikars, how we used to just irritate them in college. So the guy would come at full pace and go, "Taxi! Time kya hai?" Those whole stupid jokes. And we shot that. And then after the interview, the editors who were watching it said, well, that little bit of that tape was there, and they all laughed. And that's when Natasha and all saw it and said, "What the hell were you all doing? It seems quite funny." That was
Excellent.
the first
Yeah.
thing. So I don't remember the word Bakra, but it was all about taxi drivers. That was the aim. And the angst of being a Mumbaikar, you're hated for taxi drivers, I know,
Yeah.
as you'll know, rickshaw drivers and taxi drivers comes out.
And dude, a gag like that is so obnoxious. And the thing
so
is,
bad.
it's amazing when you look back. When I look back on myself in MTV, for example, I was such an obnoxious little prick.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
No, I'm thinking, as you mentioned, it's wrong in so many, it's politically incorrect.
Yeah.
It's classism at its worst.
As
it's
if-
elitism also. And this is what Bakra became. It became like jokes for us to do on poor people. And there's after some time I started feeling really bad about that. But then the karma came back to bite me. I married Aisha, and as you very well know. Let's get back to you. So you were writing shows. People now think that when you work in a music channel, it's all fun and laughter, but they can be quite boring writing stuff for certain type of shows which are the same old shows.
it was incredibly boring. And the reason why I left is I felt that I'm not doing any meaningful work there. I can spend 10 years there and I've really nothing to show for it and look back and say, hey, I did that, There was absolutely nothing like that. So when I left, I mean, I eventually landed up in journalism after after doing a couple of other things. And the thing is, journalism never paid as much as television.
It's
but
a very odd
it's more
trek, isn't
satisfying.
it? Because generally you start as a journalist,
Yeah.
getting paid least, you're very sure about what you want, there's zeal and drive and all that.
And then you sell
they
out.
break it down,
Yeah.
and then you compromise and go to advertising, then they break it down, and then you go down to TV, which is, of course, there's no pride whatsoever, no dignity, no
No, in
self-respect.
fact, it's a complete reverse journey in the sense I started in advertising, then television, then journalism, and I left that because I felt I didn't want to be a corporate slave. So I haven't had a job in 10 years.
But I saw the Mercedes Benz outside. No, how? Who's what? How? Unless you're wearing a uniform and you're not telling us.
I put a Mercedes Benz sticker on my i10. Maybe that's what you saw.
My eye lies. All right. Okay. So one more last question about the music channels before we go. But the experiences working there, did it help you at all?
I think what often happens in life is whatever you do in your youth doesn't really matter. You have growing up to do. You'll do that growing up wherever you are. So it doesn't specifically matter where you are and what you do at certain points. I mean, I wanted to be a writer, but at that time I was too immature and callow to write anything of value anyway. So it was just a question of
In
being
the right
somewhere
place,
where I grew
if that's
up.
how you felt.
Yeah.
Worst producer you worked with?
I actually liked all the people I work with, man. Yeah.
No regrets now. It's all been worse and worse after that.
Absolutely not. I mean, everyone was really nice to me, and I'm still in touch with many of them, and they were awesome
And ever
people.
since Ramona dropped the molestation charges, I think things have worked out perfectly.
I don't know any Ramona you're thinking of.
You lying bastard! Is that what the lawyer told you to say?
Oh, that was Ramona.
Yeah, that's his name.
In the taxi while you were shooting Bakra.
There you go. With the uniform and the buttons
Sorted.
open.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then. Amit Verma leaves MTV. Why? Because at that point, MTV is actually making a little bit of an impression. You're the lead writer. If I remember, you're the only writer.
There were other writers, but yeah. So I mean, at that time,
At
I think
that
I
point,
was
it's like a one-man
pretty
team.
much.
You're
Pretty
handling
much.
all the copy. You're on top of everything. It
Yeah.
may have been too much for you to handle after some time, but it was all you. So why did you leave?
I left essentially because it was very empty and I wanted to do more meaningful stuff, to be frank. And also the .com boom had just started and I got excited
That's
about
where
a
you
couple
went.
of
Now I
things.
remember. Yeah.
So I in fact moved immediately to Channel V to start something up for them, their website. And then I moved on from there onto other things. And I kind of fumbled
And then
around for a couple of years.
.com boom sort of boomed. Went down.
Well, the Nasdaq crash happened in 2000 and it all kind
You
of
always
went
blame the
and-
Americans for everything, don't
Oh,
you?
you have to. Man. Yeah. Modi is Trump's fault.
Yeah.
That's going to be the new narrative.
Yeah. Trump will be giving him a visa as against the last Republican. I just want to tell you. Irony upon
Yeah.
irony.
Yeah.
All right, let's trace your journey again. So you've left, you've gone back to websites and music channels, but that's almost like a project. What was your plan? What is your long-term plan now?
There was no plan. It was, coming to think of it, I've never really thought about it hard, but there was no plan.
Weren't
It's
you
just
scared?
that this is what I want to do. Look, when you're 25, when you're 26, you're not really scared, right? You just take everything in your
Were you
stride
married
and
then?
you're cool. I was married then, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you had that as well.
my wife was working and it was cool. I mean, there were no issues there.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But before we got into the journalism thing, what was your plan? Did you have a plan that I'm going to be a full-time writer, as in write books then? What was there must have been some idea.
I think what often happens is that when you meet wannabe writers, there are two kinds of wannabe writers. And one kind of wannabe writer wants to be a writer. They want to have books out and they want all the glamour and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other kind of wannabe writer is just in love with writing and he doesn't care where it takes him. And I was a little bit of both. In fact, I was probably more of the former at that time. I knew I wanted to write, but I wanted to
You
be
wanted
a
to
writer.
be Chetan Bhagat at that time.
Oh my God! Don't
I'm
say
trying to get
that.
the right analogy.
Well, more literary perhaps, but whatever. That was,
Bastard. You elegant bastard. Yeah. You can Google.
I'm
you
gonna
can Google
regret
words.
this. Yeah.
All right. No, so interesting. So you wanted all the fame and fortune, and you must have said in your head, I'm a real writer. I can't write for VJs and write city programs or top 10 songs, and I can't even remember the shows we did. Fashion. I'm sure you do fashion shows and all, writing about fashion and things like that. Which
no,
is,
we had one fashion show, I think,
what was
which
it called
was
with
Fashion
Anushka?
Police.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
whatever. I didn't.
Did you ever write for that?
No, never.
I mean, that would be the
Not that one.
zenith of your career. Mom, you'll be proud. Today I wrote about a blue frock. Yeah. All right. So then you turned to journalism. What happened? Tell us what happened in your life post MTV.
So post MTV, what happened was after I left Channel V, rather, because I shifted back there for a very
Right.
brief while, and So there was this very weird thing. I hooked up with this guy called Shashi Gopal, who was head of Magnasound.
Right.
So we met somewhere, and
When you use words like hooked up, it sounds like a Chetan Bhagat novel, and it also sounds sexual. I'm just warning you.
He's a very sweet guy. I didn't say it's non-sexual.
There you go. Two first names again. So Rish and Gopal.
Is this a family
sounds
show?
like a threesome. Yeah.
No. So he was the head of Magnasound at that time, and we got to talking, and I gave him this idea he was very excited by. So we actually partnered up to set up this thing, which we then called sonictown.com. And the idea was we would sell digital music online. This was like long before iTunes, long before MySpace as well. And so what I
So
envisaged
you should be a
was-
multi-millionaire, is what you're saying.
Sometimes you're just too early. So it's interesting.
Again, a sexual analogy we didn't want. Yeah.
So in 2000, we made a trip to New York, made presentations to VCs and all of that. They offered a lot of money. They bought my vision of the future, though some of them laugh where there won't be any CDs. It'll just be... and we bought the rights to sell about 80,000 songs online for 80 cents each. That kind of, we did those kind of deals, and then the NASDAQ crash happened. And that just fell.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
So it's all a question of timing. Couple of years later, you'd have been home and dry.
The interesting thing is a lot of things are a question of timing. There have been social networks before Facebook. There have been housing.com prototypes 10 years before housing.com.
And they were batsmen before Virat Kohli.
Well,
You just don't remember them.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. Then we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the second half of your journey. Although the life is not complete by any means, in spite of the government's presence on your back.
If Modi ji is listening, I'm done for.
Which Modi ji are you talking about?
Lalit Modi ji.
I
was in cricket, remember?
Okay. All right. Fair enough. He isn't, by the way, poor chap. Yeah. When we come back.
Finding the right drink at the right place can be a big challenge. Exploring a new destination to its fullest could be a daunting task.
So tune in every Friday and listen to the Drinks and Destinations podcast with Rajita and Samira, who introduce you to the world of fine wines, beer, spirits, and travel.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Audioboom, or any other local podcast app.
Back here with Amit Verma, writer and columnist, and I want to quickly read his biodata, which he sent us, because he spent about 10 years up and down in music channels. But here's what it says. Amit Verma is a writer based in Mumbai. He worked in journalism for over a decade. He's won the, I hope I get this right, Bastia Prize, you bloody Bastia, for journalism in 2007. Best-selling novel My Friend Sancho was published in 2009, and he's best known for his blog India Uncut. Now here... There's not a mention of music channels. There's not a mention of ever going there. It's all about the stuff after. So let's start with this Bastia. Is it Bastia?
It's Bastia. It's named after a French economist called Frédéric Bastiat.
Yeah,
And
close friend, yeah.
I've actually won it twice. I won it last year as well.
Really?
2015 and 2007. That's an old bio you just
Excellent.
picked up. Yeah.
Naveen, producer, old bio.
Sack him.
At least Google in 2017, for God's sake.
No,
It's from your website.
It's
Modi ji will be
overrated.
very unhappy that you're not updating your website.
Naveen, you're excused. I haven't updated that part of my website yet. Right.
All right. Take us through it. So what is this for?
Right. So, just to give you a little background, I moved on to journalism in 2002, and I worked in Cricinfo for a few years.
Yeah.
Which is now. Then I started a blog called India Uncut, which was essentially a libertarian blog of sorts. And from there, because of that, I started writing columns for a bunch of people. So one of those columns was for the business paper Mint, and the Bastia Prize in Journalism is given to writers who essentially write about free markets and free minds. About a free society. And Frédéric Bastiat was a 19th century dude who was really known for explaining complex ideas in simple language. So that's
After many drinks.
before many drinks.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the prize celebrates. People who can...
So is it for one particular article that you've written, or is it for your work for that year?
It's for the year, but you send them like 3 of your articles, and so I was like the second Indian to win it.
Who's the first?
A guy called Shouvik Chakravarti who sadly died.
Oops.
So yeah.
All right.
So I'm the only Indian alive to.
You
be a
rascal.
person.
That's just so mean. So unnecessary for someone who wants fame. I mean, Chetan Bhagat is a much nicer guy, I got to tell you. Don't always go about spelling. Spellings are
Have you
important.
done a show with Chetan Bhagat?
No, he won't
So
come
who's
on.
nicer?
You.
there you
He ain't
go.
won no Bastia Prize, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, My Friend Sancho was published in 2009. And what is that all about? That was your first book.
That was my first book.
And that is something that had to come out sooner or
It had to
later.
come out, but here's what, it's a very shitty book. So I'll tell you why I say that. What really happened was in 2009, I till then I had procrastinated madly, tried writing things, never really got down to it. So I decided that I need to be disciplined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out all the great Indian novel ideas out of my head and just sit down with a character in a situation, write 1,000 words a day, and it's just an exercise. It'll obviously go into the waste paper basket. So I did that, and in 5 weeks I wrote this thing, which I showed to a close friend of mine who happened to be a publisher at the time. She's also a literary critic, Nilanjana Roy. So she loved it, and she said, you must show it to other people, and I showed it to other people, and there was a bidding war in publishing, and 4 publishers bid for it, and all of that shit happened. And the thing is, I had just finished writing it. I was too close to the wood for the trees, and I didn't have perspective. And over time, I realized that, look, it was a book which, was written in 5 weeks, very slight in ambition, just
that's okay.
one
Mozart's
linear
best
narrative.
operas came in a few minutes. That's all right. How can you tell me that?
That's very kind of you. But
This is a T20 generation. No one's got time for books. You got to write fast and read fast.
Yeah. So it came out, it did well, and I'm happy about that. But I kind of feel I let myself down a bit. And,
so you're going to correct that with an even better effort later. No, just quickly give us a thing about, is Sancho Panza kind of character? Is he the
No.
follower?
Sancho was a nickname of one of the characters in the book.
Okay.
So the book was really about...
a Spanish friend of yours.
No, a kid in
Where the hell
Bombay.
do you call someone Sancho in India?
No, there's a reason for the nickname. So,
Okay.
I mean, it was a...
Read the book, Brocha.
Read the
Spend
book,
some money.
Brocha, yeah.
All right, but the book did well.
The book did very well. I mean, it was, I think, the best-selling debut book that year, which is
And
by
you've not written
Indian
another book
standards.
after that?
After
You're
that,
busy getting your Bastion prizes.
Here's what the bio doesn't say. After that, I became a professional poker player for 4 years. So I kind of left the world of writing
serious?
entirely. Yeah, absolutely.
A professional poker player?
Yeah. Poker's, by the way, a
A sport.
game of skill.
I know.
Yeah,
Shane
yeah.
Warne plays the championships.
Not very well, I've heard.
But apparently,
So-
they invite him. Did they invite you? Not yet.
No, anyone can buy in, yeah?
Can you make money?
Well, I played it for 4
You
years.
played online only?
That was my sole source of income
Online?
for 4 years. Online and underground games, I don't know if I should talk about them, because
Please
it's
talk about
illegal
them.
in India.
Oh, that's fine.
So-
Now that's the least of your worries. Let me tell you. We'll get him for poker. Not her. Poker.
I really hope Modi ji isn't listening.
Amit, don't tell us honestly. Did you make money for 4 years playing
Yeah,
poker?
absolutely. A, it's a game of skill, and B, that was my income. In fact, I left when I had kind of saved enough to just leave and be able to write. And that was sort of the plan.
Okay, what is this blog, India Uncut?
So India Uncut is a blog that was very active between 2003 and 2009. I'd do 5 posts a day. I think I did 8,000 posts in those years.
Wow.
So I was pretty regular. So it was one of the early wave of blogs and became very popular very fast. And
The Manmohan Singh years, of course. Slower pace of life, yeah.
slow pace of life. My blog was pretty fast paced.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the age of blogs is pretty much over because of
You
social
think?
media. Yeah, absolutely. Because
But so many people say I'm a food blogger, for example, and I'm a little worried. Like that seems to be like their entire life's work. You don't think that's going to last?
I see. Here's the thing with blogging. Blogging serves a number of purposes. Now, if you look at them, one is filter blogging, where you're linking people to interesting things. That's been taken over by Twitter.
Right.
One is
It's
writing.
almost like advertising. only,
Yeah, one is writing. No, not necessarily to your own stuff, but it's like, for example, if I'm very interested in literature and I put up a lot of great links about that, then people who love books can just come to my Twitter feed, for example. So that's called being a filter.
Right.
So the filter function of blogs has been taken over by Twitter. The personal function has been taken over by Facebook, Instagram. So essentially, blogs are now sort of more of a serious medium.
Like
where
the
you can-
great Indian bastard. It's going to be tough to find a blogger in a few days. Enjoy them while they last before they're extinct. Amit Verma says so, and he's the last word on the internet. But you also have your own show on, I think podcast is the wrong word. What should we call it? Internet radio or on the internet? It's Seen and Unseen podcasts. What's
The
that
Seen
all
and the
about?
Unseen.
The Seen and the Unseen.
So, the aforementioned Frederick Bastiat wrote a famous essay in the 19th century called
This
That
guy's
Which
really
Is Seen.
affected you, hasn't he?
I don't mind that being said. So, the essay in question is called That Which Is Seen and That Which Is Unseen, which essentially makes a point very briefly that for any action, you have seen effects which are very obvious, but you also have to look at unintended consequences and the
Didn't
unseen
Modi ji have the
effects.
same kind of theory with demonetization? The money that's seen and the money that's unseen? I mean,
My
is
next
that-
episode is about that, in fact.
Yes,
My
okay.
second episode
So
is
he's
about
also influenced by the
demonetization.
same Bastiat.
I would certainly hope not. Yes. Yeah.
All right, so very interesting. You're going to do a whole podcast only on this, on the theories of what is there and what is not there, what is there and what is not seen.
I think what I do in this podcast is I look at things which are happening, for example, things which the government is doing, like demonetization, talk about both the seen effects and the unseen effects.
Doesn't the censor board do the same thing with films? Somewhat. Isn't that Nihalani has the same issue? What is seen, what is not seen? Then he makes up his own things which he thought was seen.
I think for Nihalani, everything is seen, but he wants it to be unseen by others. So that's a different kind of...
But he enjoys the film uncut, sees it 5 times. Take out the kiss. The kiss was very bad.
Yeah, let it be in my preview copy. Lekin
Let me see it again. I'm not sure about the
the
touching.
public is not adult
They are
enough
not ready,
to
they are not
understand. Yeah.
Especially
All of
those
that.
under 50.
Yeah.
Let's have a proper ground here.
Oh man.
Okay. So what's left now is another book, from what I can see.
I'm writing a couple of books, and plus
At the same time?
Yeah, I mean, one is non-fiction, one is fiction, so they're kind of pretty different from each other. And
So tell us, can you share the fiction idea vaguely without giving away your book?
I'll share the non-fiction idea. The fiction idea, I think,
Well,
is
ask for the fiction
still
idea.
very
What they say
early.
himself, yeah.
Yeah, Cyrus has always been like
this
this
is seen and
between
unseen.
us.
This is heard and unheard. He's not heard my question.
Yeah. No, I'd rather not talk about the fiction. It's too early.
Fair enough. Okay.
But
So the non-fiction?
So the non-fiction is, have you heard of this history book called Freedom at Midnight?
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm writing a book called Freedom After Midnight, which basically...
About Marwari girls in South Mumbai coming to my house and saying, now my parents don't know I'm going to disco with you.
That's a video, not the book. So the book is...
Bastard. Some books become videos.
You can star in my video.
Yeah, I might have to with the budgets we have right now.
Just you and me.
Yeah.
So
I'll play Bastiat. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so the book essentially makes a case that all we got in 1947 was political independence, that we don't really have any other kind of freedom. We need to fight for our personal freedoms, our economic freedoms, social freedoms, freedom of speech, all of that.
Just more than
So
10,000
it's-
rupees a month. I mean, I made a lot of money, for example, 1 month and I couldn't touch it, which only happened in the Soviet Union.
No, in fact,
And that is after the revolution.
I call demonetization the largest blow on private property in the history of mankind. He reached into 1.3 billion pockets with one policy move. It's a crime on humanity.
But it's happened before in Germany in the early
No, never
late
before.
30s.
I mean, you mean crime on humanity? I thought you meant demonetization.
Private properties. The way you take it.
Yeah.
My namesake Genghis Khan himself would just enter the village and take everything.
Yeah.
In fact, there was no philosophy to it sometimes. It was like, I'll be taking this.
1.3 billion people.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have the numbers, so you get the world record. It's not fair. Indians should not be given world records because we just have the numbers.
Modi did what every Indian startup wants to do: scale. He achieved that.
And Guinness Book. Most people who have the money but can't afford to buy a milkshake right now because the ATM is closed.
Yeah.
We have the record.
And he took over the world's #1 Modi ji title from Lalit. Who would have thunk?
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And Lalit actually for me was an economic reformer in a sense. He reformed the game.
You know,
Literally.
actually the IPL has been revolutionary and it was
Absolutely.
completely Lalit's brainchild. So
And that's really unfair if it's completely his brainchild and it's completely his, copyright in a sense, and then you throw him out and you carry on. Of course, now they've subsequently thrown on many other people, so you don't even know who's running the show.
Yeah,
At the moment, while we record this, nobody knows who's running the
they
show.
fall like dominoes by the time this airs, who knows?
I think it's going to come to a point when the Supreme Court says, forget it, Virat, you run the show. You just do it yourself.
It's kind of bizarre because I don't even think the Supreme Court should have jurisdiction. I mean, if it has jurisdiction...
It's a public body, isn't it?
The BCCI?
Yeah.
See, it's not owned by the government. That's the interesting thing.
So it's a private body, but it's open to the public in a sense because the game is the public. It's a difficult one to explain.
It's a little...
We own the game. They own the right to the game.
How do you say we own the game? Everyone owns the game. For example...
Because it's like taxi service. There's a certain social angle to it. You own your taxi, but your society has asked you to serve them by driving that taxi, so you owe us. So you can't say no to a passenger because of the social point there. The social implication.
Sure,
but your responsibility socially.
So here's a thought experiment. Supposing you and I get together with the 3 guys in the studio with us now and 8 other people, and we form a cricket team. And we call ourselves India. And we go to Australia and get another 12 guys there, and we are playing India versus Australia. Yeah. So now the question is that who would then be entitled to complain that you're using the word India? And who would they complain to?
I get your point, but I'm just trying to say that in a sense, the whole thing is about transparency. All right, which is huge public. Okay, you can say there are private boards who have no jurisdiction. That's it. It's their business. That's one way of looking at it. But there's no transparency. There never has been, and there's so much shit that has been hidden under the carpet as far as the IPL goes from the kind of money the cricketers have taken. In actuality, I mean that's the least of the things.
No, I agree with you. No, having covered cricket for many years, the BCCI is the shittiest body in the world. It's just a shitstorm out there. But the counterfactual is, what if the government ran it? If you look at how all the other sports have been run to the ground by the government, it's a problem. And the other question that then comes up is that...
So we should outsource it to England, is what you're saying. That's the only way to save the game.
Bring Modi ji back. That's the
other one.
The other one.
And be very careful. He's going to switch to Congress, with the BJP has done nothing for him. Let's face it. It's not working. Lalita, by the way, because if there's anybody else, it'll really cause a snowstorm. That's for sure. Listen, Amit, we don't have too much time, but we have a thing called the AMAs. You might know about it, and we have to do that. I would have loved to talk to you about cricket. Maybe we can do that when May steps into the studio.
Cheers.
Amit Verma, the writer, the columnist, the drunkard, the lover of women. Married still?
Married still. To the same woman, would you
Children?
believe it? No children.
Why?
We
You don't-
decided
you don't
not
know
to
how
have
that
kids.
works?
Nah.
Let me show you.
Dude.
Take this pen.
What did we discuss about 90 seconds? What did
Damn
we
you,
discuss?
damn you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's biology. It's not intellectual property.
Biology is the biggest obstacle to humanity.
telling you.
Yeah.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com. You're really
All
weird and
right, you
strange.
can hear noises in the background. It's because May has entered, and typical sexist moment for me. She takes over, starts screaming, starts shouting. Is my panty line showing? Are my heels too high? And you're talking about me. That's the funny part.
You know what? Every time I come in here, you start stripping.
Does his panty line ever show? This is very
His
exciting.
panty line shows all the time.
She's the one who pulls
You
it down.
need-
Amit, May, Amit.
We've met before.
We met in May.
It's, you know what? Can I
disgusting.
tell you something? He
Oh,
knows.
you mean the season? Oh,
What do you think?
Damn.
Damn, you dirty
May,
mind.
say something.
Ah.
Disgusting.
Can I tell you something? We actually know each other from one of my best friends.
Is his name Francois Bastiat?
No, his name is Peter Abraham. That's how. That's
Is he a French journalist?
No, he used to be also in the poker circuit. So
you see.
it's very
wait a
bizarre.
minute.
when
Yeah, so I know
we
two
had-
people.
You know two people.
Two
yeah.
connections. One is Peter Abraham, who's my dearest friend, and that's.
Do you know
how,
he was part of an underground circuit, poker circuit against the law, which has been going on under our noses?
I know it is.
Modi ji will not only arrest me now, but also your good friend Peter. Well done, mate.
PD, I'm sorry. I love it.
And Peter made more money than Amit? Or Amit made more money than Peter?
Peter was an organizing game, so he made more money. He was always the organizer.
I also know one of my school friends I was in Rishi Valley with.
My wife's from Rishi Valley. We've had this conversation.
Every
Okay.
time, every
Sorry.
time. So, Prabhat
Is
Mukherjee.
my-
Oh, wait a minute.
Are
When
you
I
my
brought-
wife's daughter? Because it can't be the same
Could
batch.
Be. Maybe I am.
Tell your story, May.
Oh.
One of her old school friends from Rishi Valley is a
Right.
cousin of mine, and she knew him before me.
What are
Yeah.
you saying?
Yeah, the first time.
Why didn't you know him?
Because my father and his parents were sort of estranged,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
so I knew I had a cousin called Prabhat, and
But
he
why
played
is your
poker, and he
Yes.
played poker. And the first time I met him was at a casino.
I'm
in
not interested in
Goa.
the estranged. Why was your father not talking to his parents?
It's a long story. You don't want to get into Bengali family history, dude. It's
I just like the names. Just tell me for the names.
Mukhopadhyay, Bonopadhyay, Chattopadhyay,
And Phata Ganguly. Why does he have to be the villain?
And
Ganguly.
in contrast, what a wimpy name is Modi ji.
Oh.
Think about it.
Wimpy.
It doesn't sound Bengali, that's for sure.
It does not.
You can see we're both shitting bricks now.
Actually, Chatterjee, Mukherjee, Modi ji.
Yeah. And if you're Bengali, it'll be Mukoji. That's
Yeah.
Come on, let's start.
Okay, so Karan Arora has a question for Amit. What are your writing routines?
I feel like banging my head against a wall. My writing routines are kind of convoluted, but here's the thing. When I'm writing columns or something of that sort, when there's a deadline, I get it done. The deadline passes by, but I eventually get it done by the modified deadline. But when you're writing a book or you're writing for yourself, it's far harder to sit down and discipline yourself. And that's even more true in this age of social media because... if you're online, there's always, Twitter, Facebook, the notification and every notification gives you that dopamine rush, and it's just so hard to. No, seriously, because in my years of playing poker, I read up a lot on addiction, for example, and gambling addiction is, in terms of biochemistry, exactly the same as any other kind of addiction. You have a hit of cocaine or a peg of alcohol, or you push the chips forward and you get a rush of dopamine in your head.
Okay.
And so all addiction comes down to that, and social media addiction is a real thing.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm necessarily addicted to
addict?
social media, but
This is an open space. You can be...
Amit, are you going to cry? You're not going to cry, right?
No, yeah.
Okay.
cry
No,
with
no,
happiness
not
after seeing you for
So
so
it's
long.
Not
therapeutic
everyone-
and he's getting more and more open. Now my next thing, he's going to tell me I want to be a woman. I'm not happy
Yeah.
being this. I'm a sociologist and a socialist.
But
Trapped
do you
in the same
actually
body.
do...
This could be a BuzzFeed headline. I had everything and then I found Twitter.
You're Paul, you're
what I'm
Paul
saying?
Gascoigne of South Calcutta.
I'm the Paul
Yeah.
Gascoigne
Yeah.
of Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, but do you ever have writer's block?
Most writers would tell you, and for example, if you read the Paris Review interviews of novelists and so on, It's a
Why do
myth.
you have to say that and put her down? You know she's not going to read it or has read it.
She probably has
she
already
hasn't.
read
Now
it.
you
It's
may
the
upset
first
her.
you're hearing of
May hold my
it.
hand. This
I'm
is
gonna know
this is the
Google it
Bengali
when
in
I
him.
get out of the
This is the
room.
Bengali in him which you don't understand
Hey,
because you've not
I'd
lived
ra-
amongst our people as I have.
Can I tell you
So the
something?
Bengali intellectual.
How dare he
I'd
call
rather
me a
someone
Bengali?
know-
He likes to put you in your place
इस
in a very
आदमी
subtle
ने-
way.
इस आदमी
So
ने
he
मुझे
says,
बंगाली
if you
बुलाया।
read Hamlet in Urdu, you'll understand the Pakistani way of life, for example. But he'll say it because he knows you never will or would have read it.
हम तुमको
So he's
पकड़ के
urinating
मारेगा,
on you.
तुमने हमको
He's
बंगाली
urinating on
बुलाया।
you and gotten away with it. You say something back to him now.
No.
This is the
See,
way
you know
a Bengali
what?
intellectual insults you. Stand up and
It's
fight.
how a Malayali also insults everyone else. I'm used to this.
I think
It's
we
fine.
Mallus and Bongs are the best, and it's because of fish. Do you have
I know.
fish?
You mean pish? Pish. Make up your mind, damn you. I
Fish
don't
pie.
understand.
No, it's fine.
I have
will
a very
Google it
small
later.
pish fry.
We will conduct the rest of this conversation in Bengali. আপনি কেমন আছেন মেয়ে?
Oh no, I barely know Malayalam now.
Actually, interestingly, in Bengali, May means girl.
But what I like
So-
about Bengali is that you use only one gender. It's the best part of all Indian languages.
Yeah.
So is Mamta, is it he or is it she?
Yeah, and my wife always laughs when I tell her I'm
It is he.
going to turn on the light, and she's like, "Why the light?" You know. So, anyway, sorry, that's a Bengali.
Translation.
Carry
Come,
on.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Yeah,
No,
I'm going to open the light. Sorry.
You're talking
Carry
about
on.
Paris Review? You're talking about Writer's Block.
Yeah, so writing is 98% discipline and 2% whatever else, inspiration, whatever.
Copy.
It's ultimately about getting your ass down on the chair, and at my weight, once you get your ass down on the chair, it's hard to get it back up, but you also have to do some writing, which is... So discipline is
So I think what
my
they're looking for is
biggest
you get up
problem.
like at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11 writing, or before lunch or after dinner. We read about lots of strange writers out there. Some who like to write naked, like me. Some who write only in the night. They're nocturnal writers. They're like predators. They can only do 7 o'clock or 7 p.m. onwards.
All I can say is if you write naked, I'm never going to look at your writing.
I write naked.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, John and Paul wrote, I want to hold your hand on a bus on the back of a paper bag, for example. So, doesn't matter how, it
Interesting.
matters what.
And millions of songs have been written after that on the backs of paper bags, and see what's happened. That's,
And then you give them
that's the one you notice.
Then you give it to the grocer who does karaoke for
Yeah,
you. It's
it's
just so wrong.
In cognitive psychology, this is called the rare event bias.
Yeah.
So you'll remember the paperback which had the Beatles song, but not all the other millions of paperbacks which didn't have Beatles songs.
But I'm not interested in a non-Beatles song paperbacks. Unless it's paperback writer, which is a Beatles song.
Which is a
There
Beatles
you go.
song.
Top full
Yeah.
circle.
She's too young.
Unless-
Amit. She's too young.
Hey,
Unless it's
I
Chetan
know.
Bhagat, who is a paperback writer.
And when you say his name,
Let's all
stand.
sing.
Let's all stand. Show respect.
I didn't stand when I
Yeah.
said
Who's
Modi
your-
ji. Who is Seabag?
My God, it won't make up
I
his
said
mind.
Modi
Which
ji.
Modi ji? Now it's all confusing for
All
us.
Modi jis.
Every single guy whose surname is Modi.
I think next time I say Modi ji, I'll stand on one foot because it's so confusing.
I think
Ma'am.
that was the previous Prime Minister. You got it all
Yeah.
wrong.
So, ask May anything.
Ask me.
Ask me anything. No, I have one more question for
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys. Which is, a friend of mine has turned into a militant vegan. How do I deal with him? This is from Vishal.
Avoid the social contact. Avoid social contact. Do the right thing.
Do you have issues with
No, not
vegans
at
and
all.
vegetables?
I want to give up meat because I'm a true animal lover, but I just can't. It's
What
my
are-
biggest
It's
weakness.
tough.
What I tell vegans is that my food eats your food, and then see how they deal with that. But I don't have a problem with any kind of people, provided they don't try to force it on you. So if
Yeah.
you're a vegan,
No,
that's
I'm fine with
fine. But
that.
I am going to eat my butter chicken in your face.
But I promise I will give up meat one day. I have to.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much.
I'm a vegetarian in between meals.
Yeah.
This is a lot of time, actually, if you think about it.
I'm
Most
just
of
cheap. I eat whatever you pay for.
99% of the time, we are vegetarians.
You're telling
Just add
me,
about,
yeah.
man.
I know.
97%
And-
are
and
good
hello,
people. It's just that 3%
Amit,
of the
Amit-
day we do crazy things.
I mean, also your liquid consumption is pure veg.
My
I don't see any
liquid
meat
consumption
there.
is pure
It's
veg.
pure veg.
Jains could argue
Drink-
with that.
Why? How?
We are full of bacteria anyway, dude. Every time you breathe, you're
But then we might as
committing
well kill
mass
ourselves.
murder.
There's
You're
no
worse
way.
than Modi ji.
Even if you wear that
He only
stupid-
took
I wanna
people's
ask
money.
I
You're
wanna ask
killing
you,
bacteria.
If you put that mask on your mouth, you think the bacteria haven't figured out how to get in? I mean, the little mask isn't going to do anything. Even in surgery, when they put that green mask on, I'm not happy. I want them to wear those helmets which are tight, right across. I mean, they should stitch it into the neck. They
Modi
should
ji
first do
should wear
operations
a
on
mask when
themselves.
he's announcing.
Will you leave him alone? I got to do the show.
Which Modi ji?
I don't care. I'm getting worried. I got no security.
Which Modi ji should
I'm
I
not
leave
running-
alone?
God, no
I'm-
security.
Which Modi ji should I
I'm
leave
not from the
alone? That's
roadies
why.
like Raghu Raji. They have bodyguards. We don't. We are cheapsters.
They are after my time. That's how old I am.
All right. Before we let you go, quick. 2006, you visited Pakistan. Give us a little lowdown on that. When you were in your cricket info days.
Oh, Pakistan was amazing, and it's a bit of a cliche, but Lahore just felt like Delhi, except there are Urdu signs.
Yeah.
Karachi, a lot like Bombay. It's kind of a cliche in that sense.
And women can walk out at night at 7 o'clock, at least till 7:30. Lahore Garden is
You know,
famous,
I
for
didn't
example.
keep an eye out for
7:45.
that. But
Compromise, 7:15. Give me 15 minutes.
I have no idea. You can make up what you want.
Do you know that Amit is quite nocturnal? Has that come up?
I don't think Amit cares anymore about day and night.
I work all
His
night. In
issues
fact,
with
I've been up
people.
all night, so
I
yeah.
don't
Very
know how
bad
you're here this- Yeah, I don't know how he's here this morning. He wakes up at 7:30 p.m.
When you take your Viagra, see the MG. All right? See the MG. Don't overdo it. Because there's no point in that. You're not a rock star. You don't have groupies. There's no point being up all night.
Yeah, but dude, let me tell you, on the days I take Viagra, I can really turn on that light bulb.
There you go.
Let me tell you that.
The days I take Viagra, my wife's in Hyderabad. All right, Amit, thank you so much. Mate, do you have anything else you
Cheers.
want to ask us?
No,
Oh, cheers.
I'm good.
A tone of resignation. Goodbye, Modi ji.
Just like any other woman we know.
Right.
Truth.
Okay, catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Beyond Pod, any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcast galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.